So we have our arcade machine. We can check that you have unwrapped it going into here. And we want to export out colors for the different surfaces so that it's much easier for you to texture them. So what we're going to do is first create our material that's going to go onto this object to assign to different polygons. You're going to press the M key. If it is in the slate material editor, make sure that you go to the compact one because it'll just be a little bit easier for you. You're going to go to click physical here, type in multi-sub-object. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add 3 unique colors, but you can do this as many times as you like. So I'm going to set the number to 3. I'm going to go on to the first material and I'm going to change it from being a physical material to standard. And we can't see standard legacy here. So there's one thing that we need to do before we can see legacy materials. We need to go to rendering. We need to go to render setup. We need to change it from Arnold to scanline. And that's going to show us some different materials that a renderer can see. Now if I go to physical and I type in standard, see standard legacy, right? So I've got that now, and I'm going to set this to have a self-illumination. This means that we won't have to add any lights for these materials, okay? And I'm going to set it to be a color actually, and I'm going to set this one to just be a grey color. You can see even though it's very dark, it's quite a light grey, so you can't get dark colors with this, but remember this is just an ID map so that we can flood fill it in Photoshop. I'm going to hold down Shift and drag that as a copy, and drag it again as a copy. And for this one, change that to be red. And we go in here. Actually, we don't want the ambient color to go red. We want the actual illuminated color to go red. And down, and then we go back to the parent. Click on this material now. Go into this one, and I'm going to put that one yellow as well. Okay, and that should be fine. Okay, so keep closing it down. I need to go back to the parent and drag this onto here, and we can see it has got these really, really bright colors on. What we need to do is tell the surfaces which colors to be now of those sub-objects. So we're going to select all the faces, and we're going to start by setting the ID for everything to be. Okay, and now we can see everything in grey material. What I'm going to do is select all of the middle stuff. Actually, no, a better way of selecting the sides is I'm going to do by angle. On each side, I'm going to hold down Control and I'm going to grow my selection. I'm going to set that to be 2. And then on this side, and this bit, and it doesn't really matter what these colors are because we can use the paint bucket tool in Photoshop to change them later. And set that one to be 3. Okay, so that's how we can set the different colors for the surfaces so that we know what they are. You can have as many as you like in that multi-sub object so that you can really understand which bits are your texture. So we're going to go now to rendering to texture. Have our object selected, so it's going to see come up here. If there's nothing selected, it will not appear here. Okay, so that's how you get it there. Going to make sure we use our unwrap in channel 1. Make sure that setting is selected. We're going to add a diffuse map, and we're going to set the resolution to be 2048. We're also going to give it some padding up here. Okay, I'm going to say for a 2048, maybe 16 pixels of padding should be plenty, and that will just allow no bleeding issues of the outside to show through. So if I click render now and click continue, should get now perfect ID map. I can see on this I've got a little bit of lighting from the grey, and you can see the greys are slightly different tints. I think really what I should probably do with the grey material is increase that emissive value if I don't want that error to happen. So what I'll go back into here, and I'm just going to make it much brighter so that it is casting light, and it will just be a white area that I can blood fill later. Now if I click continue and overwrite, you can see those bits come in white. So everything that is that material, drag it back onto there. There we go. So those bits on here directly relate to the map. Now we can save this out, and I'll just put this on my desktop for now. As a PNG will be fine. Now it's arcade. Score text. Click OK. And then I'm going to open Photoshop, and I will go to my desktop and I'll drag this onto Photoshop. It'll open it up, and we can add a layer background. Let's pick the ink bucket tool. That will do that, and then we can start to select these areas with either the selection tool or the Magic Wand tool. Might be easier. If we hold down Shift when we're selecting, I want the AI stuff to go away. There we go. We can select all the red bits, and we could start to take a moment. You go to Image, Adjustments, Saturation, and we can change them to be whatever color we want. Okay, if we wanted them to be of a yellow like the tutorial is, do something like that. Okay, and then we can, or what we could do is, if we missed a bit like that, we can press I on the keyboard, pick that, we can press G on the keyboard. Sometimes gradient tool will be selected, so let's just select that, and we can just paint bucket tool that, and we can pick whatever colors we want. Say we wanted maybe a dark blue, or the white bits. We can, just making sure that we don't go click outside of the lines, but that will also work for. This is really nice as well if you want to do like gradients going up your machine. We can select an area across here, and we can understand which bits are our machine. So we can go on here, pick a second color, start to, that happens to you, just go to basics and select the color. There we go. You can do that. And because we know which bit of our machine we're colouring in, it doesn't matter if it's going outside of the lines. Okay, so for the rest of the Photoshop stuff, I would recommend following the tutorial with the Pac-Man assets that are provided by the uni. But this is a nice quick way of getting colours into the correct places in a really basic way.